2022. We are here at South Mountain for the conclusion of this tournament. Thank you to BS Upshot for running this tournament and sponsoring our coverage. Also, thank you to our Patreon family for supporting us. I'm Dave Oster here with Devin, Frederick. We are going to be bringing you the final 9 holes, like I mentioned. We're going to get started right now on hole 10. Devin, what do we got?
302 par 3. This is one of the newest pin positions on this course. Many people are going to take this route that the drone's flying straight out there and finish off to the right. Recently, there's been some bushes trimmed, and it looks like T-Jack is going to try and go the skinny route right for the pin. And he just sawed it off just a little bit, came up a little short.
Curtis skipped right off that log, probably circle 2, somewhere midway through. Have a long look at it.
Bradley going more of the conventional route, taking it all the way around the outside. Coming up a little short, probably just outside the circle. Ben also trying that inside route. Looked like he put a good move on it.
And the inside route looks very tight. If I was looking at it from the tee, I would not even consider throwing it, but these guys, I'm sure, tried it in practice and it worked.
Yeah, it is the way that has been working the best for me as well. But it is scary and definitely a hard scramble if you do hit early. Great putt out of Bradley getting his birdie.
Another long one and just casually kind of half jogs up to the basket. Take another look at it. Nice high floater, little Annie out of the hand. Trust the stability to come back and pretty much dead center chains. Kurt is almost replicating. Little low left.
And the finish up his. Makes easy work, gets his par. And so should the rest of these guys. But yeah, still a tight battle between these top guys here. See who can push and finish strong here on this back 9.
Yeah, and as we move over to hole 11, another tight one through the woods, par 3, 216 feet, slightly uphill. The line looks to be right where the drone's flying, and then got to miss these last couple skinny trees to get real close to the basket. If you hit them and fall, probably be just outside the circle, or hopefully not get a bad kick and can keep going because it is a fairly short hole.
And yeah, for those guys that threw the straight gap on the last hole, this is pretty similar into the same shot.
Ooh.
Good overstable disc by T-Jack, but a little strong, catches the tree, and should have a putt from there.
And that would be one of the small trees we were talking about just having a miss. First, we'll have a look at it, but not quite all the way in the circle. Still definitely a distance where we've seen him make plenty of times.
Yeah, he's made a few from that range already today, so I'm sure. Oh, Bradley with another great putt.
2 in a row. And that will bring him tied for the lead with Curtis.
Yeah,
for
so
the moment at least.
Put a little more pressure on Curtis to make his putt now. See if T-Jack can make good for his birdie. Ooh, coming up a little short. Just wondering if he'd get his piece of the lead. And another little miscue on a short one out of Curtis.
Yeah, and visibly upset. Obviously knows that Bradley's right on his heels. TJ's just a stroke behind, so do you think it's a little bit of the pressure getting to him? No, he's so close, or maybe just a
It seems to be
round?
that same distance putt. I think he likes to putt fairly aggressive, and when he gets in close like that and has to take some of that power off, I think it's just a not quite confident at that range. Just like I said, he likes to be aggressive and putt hard. When he has to take a little off, he seems to be a little off.
Right. Yeah, we said a couple times uncharacteristic misses, but hopefully he can turn it around. Moving on to hole 12, downhill, par 3, 226 feet. Pretty much dead straight, a slight bend, depending on which way you go. Bradley going for the flex forehand line. Maybe he sees a little bit wider the way he throws it. Still tight through the woods.
Yeah, I think the way Bradley tried to go is definitely a lot tighter, but like you said, it's a dead straight shot almost downhill. Not a very easy shot to throw.
Yes, the straight shot is one of the hardest shots that most players have to try to throw, especially when it's through the woods, hitting these tight gaps and everything.
You need to put a little ante on this one to actually follow the fairway, and with it being downhill, it's real easy for him to just glide and go, and you'll find yourself 100 feet past this basket before you even know it. Nice little up out of T-Jack.
Drawing metal again, a couple of holes all over it.
Not a bad run out of Ben either. All these guys are giving it a good bid. They want to keep pushing. Just a little short left out of Curtis again.
Oh, band, top band, hitting the rim, bouncing around.
And there's in there.
Yep. I like to say that you always hear people say that there's no pictures on the scorecard, but it really doesn't apply when you're on video.
Exactly.
What we got for 13?
Going back up the hill we just came down, 209 feet, par 3. There's kind of one tree right in the middle you got to miss, and that big one we just flew by. And as a right-handed backhand player, you're just throwing it straight up there and letting it fall off to the left.
That looks good. Oh, and the little trees slowing down.
Nice little drop in for him.
And with only 5 or 6 holes to go, this is kind of turning into match play between these top 3 guys. T-Jack only one back, but knowing that Bradley's so close puts probably more pressure on Curtis and himself.
And yeah, Bradley having the momentum, being up first and parking it really is putting pressure on these guys to follow suit, not fall behind. Looked like he caught that middle tree.
Yeah, almost the same exact line, just a couple inches off, and obviously you see it's 100 feet short, but nice upshot, saving the par.
Be a little bit of a long look for Curtis. Great putt, I must say. For a couple of them small, shorter ones he missed, he's making some of these longer, tougher ones. So he's almost evening out, I think.
Yeah, I mean, something's working. He's still in the lead, tied for lead at this point. Maybe he should be aiming for 30 feet instead of 10.
Sometimes it feels that way. I know I've had a couple of those days myself.
couple birdies, couple of pars, and we move over to our first par 4 at this course. 490 feet downhill, following the power lines the whole way. Basically, just need to keep it in the fairway on your first shot. Obviously, you want to get as much distance as you can, but left or right really makes it difficult to advance without trying to find something through the gaps. Want to land somewhere around here up until where this short basket we see is. The long basket is actually going to be about 100 to 150 feet farther straight down the hill on the left side. So second shots will be heading down in that direction.
Yeah, so with this tee tucked off to the right here, kind of want to force something over or take a T-bird or something like that and let it flip up a little bit and just glide down this path.
Yeah, a lot of distance, but left side, again, he's going to probably be a little pinched off.
The wires that are hanging from these poles are actually more in the way than you would think, and they get hit very often.
Ooh. Big double skip, but still a lot of distance and not too far from the fairway. From where he is, he might be all right.
Yeah, once you get down to about pin high of the short pin, you can work something from over there on the left and right a little bit, as long as you're not too far off the fairway.
Yeah. And I think where this tee pit is an underrated course design aspect. Just offsetting a tee pad from a otherwise straight fairway, I think is a very unique and good way to add just a bit more difficulty to an otherwise fairly easy hole. Not that this one's easy, but just in terms of that design aspect, I really like that.
Yeah, it makes it a little more technical. It makes you be aware of your disc angles and disc selection.
Curtis kicking off the right side fairway, going all the way left. I think that landed close to circle 2 down by the basket. Took it a little bit too wide, but it kind of worked out. And kind of same thing for Bradley. He kicks down right in the fairway. He'll have a halfway through circle 2's look at it.
T-Jackal trying to be a spike and a forehand down there.
Similar spot to Curtis he'll be at.
Ben leaving his up a little bit short. I'm sure he wants to be parked from where he was at. I was hoping Bradley was going to keep that putting streak going.
Yeah, that was looking good. Just a little high. Tough with the downhill putt. I think, again, like with most times. Oh, and a good putt from Curtis. There it is, 30 feet.
Yeah, outside the circle. He's on fire.
But yeah, what I was going to say, most times on camera, the slope you're looking at is more severe than it looks like. And especially right when you go past the basket, it just gets more and more downhill. So.
And yeah, there's a lot of them little prickly bushes past the basket too. So going along on this one is never pleasant. Good putt by T-Jack and his birdie on that par 4.
Bradley to get his par.
Good cleanup out of him. Making sure not to take any unnecessary strokes.
As we move over to hole 15. Par 3, 248 feet, basically throwing down this old service road until it veers to the left. You keep going straight and even a little bit to the right. Missing these last 2 trees will get you right into this little area that we'll call the green right now.
Yeah, this one should set up nicely for the lefty. He just has to throw it straight out there and let it finish off. Probably just a mid-range for him.
kicks, but luckily forward enough. He's probably somewhere near circle 2. Could have gone straight to the right. I think it's pretty thick over there.
It's a good-looking shot. Great
yeah.
shot out of Curtis. Perfect.
That one looks close enough. I'm going to say right now that he's probably going to make that one. This flex out of Bradley comes up a little short, but it's pretty open right there. He might be able to knock another long one down.
Yeah, his putter's been flying well, so I'm sure we'll give it a good bid.
And blind from the tee, we didn't mention either, with that little rolling hill. Makes it a little bit more difficult for this hole.
Yeah, especially for the right-handed players, having to go that little bit uphill and then make your disc try and move to the right at the end is a difficult shot for a backhanded right-handed player.
Oh, and a little turbo putt. Oh no, sit down.
Wow. That's unfortunate.
An inch from being a birdie, and now he's going to be maybe circle's edge or more to try to save the par.
Yeah, he's right in the thick of things. It's never what you want to have to experience when you're pushing for the lead. And that even wanted to get up and roll a little.
And the slope it's there, but nothing like some of the other holes. But sometimes they just hit the cage and get up and go.
Yeah, this is one where there's not a whole lot for it to stop it from rolling either. It's hard packed ground, little pebbly stones, so it happens. So hopefully you can shake it off and keep finishing strong.
And Curtis with the birdie extending his lead to 2 strokes with only a few holes left. Honestly, could be much bigger, but his putting is keeping everybody else close. So hole 16, par 3, 334 feet. Very downhill again. Couple of gaps you want to hit. Something under or something stable thrown downhill to keep it going straight. Forehand kind of flex around that pile of logs you see about halfway down. And basically just try to miss the trees. Big kick to the right for Curtis. Almost all the way down this side of this hill.
Yeah, this is a tough forehand because it's drifting down towards the parking lot even at the end. And this is one where I definitely prefer the backhand.
Yeah, if the righty backhand, if you get it down there, then it starts to fade away from the parking lot. Definitely better for the angle of the hill. And like you said, staying away from the parking lot. Drifting right to left. His backhand gets all the way down there. That's probably close to pin high, but further left.
And that is a tough spot Curtis ended up in. And pretty good out from there, from where he was.
Yeah, honestly, getting anywhere near the circle from there, that's a great shot. Ben's going a little long. Another turbo putt. Getting up and over this thorn bushes.
Ooh. Just coming up a little short, but still decent attempt for a turbo putt.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely not something that everybody practices, but I'm sure he does. Yeah, Curtis missing just a bit high. So that, I believe, is the first bogey for Curtis of the entire tournament.
I feel like you're right. He's been making his putts when he has to and just playing some pretty clean, good golf.
Yeah, both rounds. First bogey being 16 holes in. That's I'd be happy with that if that was my tournament.
Yeah, for sure.
And we're gonna do a check-in on the leaderboard because somebody looking familiar is also up in the mix, but not on our card. Yourself currently tied for the lead with only 2 holes to go. Your last hole is hole 1, so you are 1 card ahead of these guys. So just something to keep an eye on as we get close to the end of this tournament. Going to our second par 4, hole 17, 415 feet. Throwing severely uphill again towards the short pin 17. You can kind of cut the corner by going further to the right. And then the long red basket is up and into the woods. What would you say, another 200-ish feet from the short pin?
Yep. Yeah, so you're pretty much trying to get to the short pin most of the time. A little bit long and right of the short pin. I think Bradley should be in a decent spot there. And then, yeah, just navigating up the second fairway. Some people, like you said, try and cut the corner, throw rollers up through that narrow gap, and just kind of hope for the best.
That was a very far to the left kick for Ben. That's going to be tough. He's not quite at the crest of the hill. Going to make his second shot difficult. Oh, right over there with Ben.
Yeah, anything that finishes to the left of the short pin gets to be real difficult to navigate that second section of this fairway.
And do you think that was just low, or do you think he was going for that forehand roller that you said some players go for?
I think he might have just been a little low. I think he was just trying to power it up there and get it to finish off kind of over in the mouth of that second part of the fairway.
Great second shot, though, getting all the way up into the circle.
Mm-hmm.
Almost all the way up there for Curtis. Ben catching a tree. So this is trying to get up and down to save his par. And does a pretty good job. Bradley giving it a run.
Yeah, it was pretty much picture perfect drive out of Bradley. Pretty much textbooking this hole.
And that, if he made, that was for his eagle bid, I believe.
Yeah.
Just short.
That would have been a great birdie, right, out of T-Jack?
Yeah.
After that early thrower drive, we'll say.
Yeah. Yep, that would have been a great birdie save, to say the least. As this hole is 415, but with uphill both of your shots, it's got to play close to 500.
I would agree, because that initial hill's pretty aggressive. And then it just keeps going up from there. So it's definitely playing close to 500.
And that birdie brings Bradley back to tied for first with Curtis and yourself. So 1 hole to go. We're not going to see what you do on 1, but these two guys are both at 15 down and have a hole, to say the least, to end on. Great hole. Very far downhill, 435 feet. Probably a backhand flex getting around to here to try to have it finish back. Avoid the bushes, low-hanging trees on the left. Parking lot left short is out of bounds, and this road, if you do wind up long somehow, is also out of bounds. And then, of course, all of the power lines having to navigate as well makes this a very difficult hole.
Yeah, this is probably one of the more difficult ones on the course. Very straight drive. You don't have much room to drift left and right to go 400 plus feet. So very specific shot.
Yep, and he's playing at almost a half a stroke over par. And it is the hardest hole on the course today.
Yeah, I would totally agree with that, because especially with that parking lot to the left, as most of your players are right-handed, backhanded players, if you saw it off just a little bit, that parking lot comes up quick.
And look at this.
Nice.
T-Jack
Works its way down for him.
Yeah, almost another 70 or so feet with the roll straight towards the basket.
I think this is just a buzz out of Curtis, too. He's just
Catches
trying
a
to get it to
telephone
float down
pole.
there. Gets a great roll. Oh, my.
Wow.
Wow.
I actually caught one of the telephone poles, kicked left, but just hit the right angle and rolled all the way down to the basket.
It's one of those that when it happens and you're playing the short pin, you're angry, but today he's loving it.
So with Bradley we're not sure where he landed yet, but wherever he is, Curtis being that close is definitely going to put the pressure on him. I believe Bradley's left side, we didn't quite see where it ended, but not all the way down by the pin. Okay, so there's Bradley. Barely stayed in bounds. Wow. And he's on
pretty
the
much
basket.
just an upshot. But yeah, he's parked, putting the pressure on Curtis for the win. And that same distance, that same miss. Wow.
That's been his crux.
That was for the win.
Day. Yeah. Could have put it away.
Yeah, there had to be at least 5 of those 15 to 20 footers today that he just let slip through his fingers a little bit.
That is incredible. Unfortunate. But with Bradley under the basket, we are going to go into a playoff.
Good finish there by T-Jack. That was a good tournament for T-Jack. It was good to see him. He's one of the local guys. So to see him put together a good tournament and finish up there and give the win a run was awesome. I was definitely keeping my eye and rooting on him the whole round.
Yeah, real close. So we'll take a look at the leaderboard. Not only Bradley and Curtis, but yourself. 3-way tie for first after our 36 holes. So we're going to go into a playoff. We're going to do the long red tees to long baskets, starting on hole 1. Same hole 1 that we started out for the actual tournament. And I believe we went with the order of best round, which was you. So joining us on the first round and now in the playoff coming back, you get to see some more of your play.
Yeah, and this one I got turned over a little more than I wanted and up a little high, caught some branches, coming up short. This is definitely a tough basket to get into.
Yeah, either getting straighter and finishing with the left to right late, or kind of flexing right and then back left is kind of how you got to access. And I think you and Bradley almost hit the same tree and are going to be at similar distances. Curtis sails it long and right. And those
it looks
are
like he just sawed that off a little bit.
Yeah, the thick thorn bushes. And decent bid.
Yeah, I didn't have too much. It was pretty far away. I was just nobody else was parked, so just lived to battle another hole.
Yeah, and that's pretty much what it is. Match play at this point. Anytime someone doesn't get the same score as anybody else, they are out. And basically the last person standing.
I also wasn't watching Bradley make all those long putts earlier. I might have been a little more nervous and running mine a little harder if I had saw those earlier.
All right, so 3 pars. We'll move over to hole 2, playing from the red tee. So a new hole for this tournament we haven't seen yet. Going up through and the open field near the pavilion, making a hard right to a tight gap, back down to the regular hole 2's basket. So what are you going with here?
This is my Wraith, so I'm just trying to throw it flat and hard up there and having it finish to the right. Hopefully get some skips. Looks like I skipped right into a tree, maybe.
Yeah, I heard a loud crack. Looks like maybe hit a rock, which is not surprising for this course.
Hard to make it through this course without hitting a rock.
Right. Bradley early right, kicking way left, which if you're on either side, probably the preferable side, but Owen Great throw by Curtis. Probably a couple feet past you.
Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much about as good as you're going to do on this hole. You can obviously do a little better, but that's typically where your good shots will land.
Tough out for Bradley. All you can really do is hope to throw this in and hope neither of you make your long birdie putts.
Oh man, such a good bid to try and keep his tournament alive. And yeah, I was torn on this one. I was dead lined up behind some trees. I couldn't figure out if I wanted to go with a step out to the left and Annie, step to the right and Hyzer. So I was kind of checking the wind, seeing which way it was going to help push my disc and try and make the best decision I could.
And the right decision you made. Great putt.
Yeah, just enough to get it in, get it over the rim of the basket. And,
you can hear you are pumped. Take another look at it. Through the trees, flexing back, and obviously putting all the pressure back on Curtis, who's been great at this distance.
Yeah, he had the putt I wanted. It's kind of framed up for him nice, probably just outside the circle. So I think it's the putt he liked too, obviously. Yeah.
So now it goes to the hole 3 from the red tee pad, much tighter fairway to the same basket. You can see the drone can barely kind of get through it. And now we're asking you guys to throw discs to the same gap. So.
And yeah, I'm pretty much trying to hit that same gap. The tree I skimmed off of is actually a tree I'm kind of aiming at and hoping I break off it a little bit, and got fortunate enough to only catch a little bit of it and keep me right there.
Oh, yeah. Good shot for you on the green. Now Curtis catches early tree, luckily stays in the fairway. Now has this, knowing that you are pretty much within 10 or 15 feet.
And yeah, I thought this was good out of his hand, but he almost turned around immediately knowing it wasn't in. Yeah. And
definitely
I hadn't even
to
seen where mine was yet, so I was walking up, waiting to see how far I had to putt to try and seal this up.
See the big gallery. And making sure it's in, and it is.
It almost looked like it wanted to go through.
Yep, everybody held their breath for that 1 second, but able to take it down.
Winning $765, Devin Frederick.
Quick thanks to Brian for doing this, stepping up for the LVDC, and still making this happen. Quick thanks to Team Swan and Innova Discs.
So congratulations to you, Devin. That was an awesome round that we didn't get to see the whole thing, but got you tied, got to the playoff. We fortunately did get to see that. Awesome getting able to say congratulations to you on coverage. Not something I've been able to do before, but these guys all did great. 315 downs, a couple of 13s and 11s, a lot of 1,000-rated golf this weekend. But Devin, thank you so much for joining me. This was an awesome treat to have the winner of this tournament on coverage with us. Thank you to everyone who was watching all of this coverage. There'll be plenty more coming out, so if you want to see that, subscribe. And until next time, we'll see you next hole.